Hello everyone, and welcome to this Map Mavin walkthrough on how to edit layers. So I'm going to go through a couple of different ways that you can edit layers. The first one is going to be how to edit the layer directly in the layer editor form, so in the layers tab. And then the next one is going to be how to edit layers directly through a map. So you can also edit layers when in the map view of a map. So first off, if you click directly on the layer, whether it be in a folder or not, it'll take you to your layer editor. There's a general and there's a styles. In general, you're going to be able to change the layer name. So this layer is some statistics from the 2008 presidential election in Colorado. So you can say Colorado 2008 presidential election. And then we can add a description if we want. And then also there's some other important options beneath that. So we can choose to allow editing on this layer in the future, allow only new features to be added, and then disable editing entirely. And so what this does is this either allows people to edit the layers from the map, allows people only to add new features from the map, or disables editing entirely when someone's viewing this layer from a map. So we're going to leave it as allow editing. And then there's also this update data button. So this means that if we have deleted some features that we want to re-add back, we can choose to append to the existing layer. So you just append it and drop that layer in there, and it'll add those features that you deleted. Or you can replace the entire layer's data with another layer. So you have those two options, which are really good in case you make any mistakes and need to correct. And then you also have the attribute column down here where you can either delete fields or add new fields. So moving on to the styles. So styles has a bunch of different tabs, starting with global styles, which is going to be kind of your basic editing. Since this is a polygon map, we're going to see that polygon is kind of highlighted, whereas line and point are grayed out. So we can't edit those because this map only contains polygon. And so what we can see is that we can edit the fill color, change that to whatever we want. And then we can also change the stroke color, etc., as well as set minimum and maximum zoom. So if we want to collapse that, we can go and we can check out the labels. So you can add labels for a variety of the different attributes. Name, county, whatever. Looks a little filled, so we're probably going to just leave labels out for now, but we can also edit the label size, the font, the maximum minimum zoom, as well as a bunch of more specific labeling stuff, such as text justification, the anchor, padding, add offsets, allow for overlap replacement, adding halos, and that type of thing. So you can go pretty deep on just label editing. But now one of the important things I want to go over is conditional styling, or creating classes. So if I want to create a class for, say, for democratic votes, specifically where there's lots of democratic votes, I can say any of the conditions where the attribute, which in this case is pres08_d, which is democratic votes, are greater than 500, and then we can change that color to be something that stands out, maybe like red or something, even though that's kind of counterintuitive in terms of them being democratic votes. You can see where those democratic votes are high in these certain regions. But say we make that and it doesn't look good, we can just delete that style rule if we want. And we also have the option of adding multiple style rules. So moving on to Choropleth maps, or color progression maps. This is something that is really useful for this type of map, where we want to look at areas that have high versus low votes. So we can do this Choropleth based on the number of democratic votes, and we can see that the color ramp's already set from a lighter to a darker blue, which makes sense because democratic colors are blue. And we can see that there's either a color ramp option, where we can choose from a ramp, or we can set the ranges individually, where we can choose our stop colors. So we can change each stop's color, we can change each stop's value, we can add a legend label specifically for that stop if we want to add more detail about it, and then we can also even change the stroke color of that stop if we wanted to add a stroke to that. And then right here you can see you can delete the stops or add more in case you want to customize it more. And then you can change the color of no data, so if there's no data in a region, you can make it white or make it fully transparent if you want. And then also you can edit the actual attribute legend label. So since not many people are going to know what pres08_d means, you can say number of democratic votes. That way your map viewer will actually know what you're talking about. And then don't forget to save if you want to keep that. And then from there, if you want, you can also do 3D fill extrusions based on an attribute, as well as legend customization. So moving on, if we want to save that how it is, click Finish. And then you can also go over to the map editor view. But really quick, before I forget, there's also the ability to add to existing features on a map. So if I, say, wanted to add another polygon, I can do that anywhere on the map. And then you can see that if you double click after making that polygon, you can fill in the attributes for whatever you want. So you can easily add features as well as remove them. So if I also wanted to remove a feature, I could select it by clicking select shape and then clicking on that shape, and then I can just click on the trash can in the top right corner to get rid of it, or change any of these statistics, such as any of these attributes as well on that feature that I've directly clicked on. So moving on to editing from a map. So first off, you're going to be in the map view, but an important note is that if you want to choose whether you can make layers downloadable, you can go to the map editor, scroll down to options, and then you have the option of allowing layers in the map to be downloaded. So that's just kind of a note regarding layers. But if we want to actually edit the layers themselves via a map, we're going to need to go to the map view. And remember before, if you're in the layer editor, you need to allow editing on that layer for it to be edited from the map. You can see that we can go to edit layer, and from the hamburger icon next to that layer, and then you can either click on individual features and edit them, or you can also click on the feature attribute table and edit them from there. Change the name, change any of the other statistics, whatever, and then press save if you want to do that. So that's about everything. If you have any more questions, please feel free to contact us directly, and we can set up a time for a one-on-one demonstration. Thanks so much.